Here's G. Scott. We're talking about the minimum wage again.
Hey,
This
love
time,
it.
Raising it to $19 an hour in King County.
Yes, love it.
Unincorporated King County.
Unincorporated King County.
That's like, all the areas like, White Center and all those places. This is great. This is fantastic. It needs to lift even higher. I'm always shocked whenever, and I know later on today we're going to be talking about the minimum wage, and every time there is talk about raising of the minimum wage, my jaw hits the ground almost every time the opponents of that. Like, oh, what is that going to mean? It means the price of a cheeseburger is going to go up higher, and the cost is going to come to us. Like, first of all, it's not rocket science. This would for sure add to the economy, right? More people will get to do more things because of that, right? And so this also will lift higher standards when it comes to workers. I got to tell you, have you guys noticed lately sometimes you go out and about and maybe there's some service out there and you're like, this service really isn't good anymore. So I have noticed lately there has been, if you will, not really good service out here sometimes. And sometimes I think that there are a bunch of people that aren't paid well at all, barely making it, already knowing that when their paycheck comes out, they're already going to be in the red no matter what. And so they just kind of sometimes you have this you don't care mentality. So this is good. The federal minimum wage, Dave and Colleen, is still $7.25.
Right.
Been that way since 2009. The minimum wage back in 1976 was $2.30.
Tell me about it. My first job was $2 an hour.
What?
Yeah.
Where was that?
Where?
WVIP.
Oh, I'm not surprised it was a
Mount
radio.
Kisco, New York. $2 an hour.
I thought you were about to say you worked at WKRP.
No, well, it was close.
Yeah.
No, $2 an hour. They
you
rated
mentioned
$2.50 there.
What do you got?
cheeseburgers and the price of cheese. And I looked to local company Dick's and what they do. I believe they have a $20 minimum wage. I could be wrong on that, but I know they have been at the forefront of, paying for college tuition, health insurance.
I love Dick's.
I believe it's $20 an hour for employees there. Have their prices gone reasonably high? No. Our producer David is shaking it. What are you talking about? It's still like $2.25 for a cheeseburger. It's still super cheap. So they set the it shows you that you can do the right thing as an employer, keep prices low, and customers go there because they know it's a value judgment when you choose that restaurant.
Right. You're 100% right on that, Colleen. And right now we have a problem in this country where wages are not keeping up with the increase in housing, right? You're talking about 23% here in the Puget Sound for rent in the last 3 years, where wages have only gone up 10%. And then you guys wonder why we have a housing affordability problem and we have a homelessness problem. Right now, throughout the country, there are only 3 states right now that are above $15 minimum, that are at $15 minimum wage as far as states. That's Massachusetts, California, and Massachusetts, California, and Washington. So what do we do?
I guess you got to ask, though, what do you do for the people who are not worth $19 an hour because they haven't got that, customer service attitude you talk about?
Wow, interesting.
They're out of work.
Well, they're not going to get hired or they're going to get fired, but everybody's worth at least $19 an hour.
Hey, Dave, if you put your pants on, put some shoes on, clothes, and you walk into an establishment, and you're there 8 hours, and you're working, and you don't get fired, and they actually tell you to come back the next day. So that means you're doing your job enough to come back the next day, and then the next day, and then you work your 40 hours a week, and then you're 80 hours after 2 weeks, then 160 hours after a month, and you're still not fired, you're still doing your job, that, my friend, you're worth a living you're worth a living wage. Like I think that in our country, and I'm not old enough to really realize how everything started, but in our country we need to get to the point where everybody is able to make a living wage, even if they walk in. If they're able to keep their job, that means they're worth.
But that's what I'm saying.
The money.
There are people who are not going to be able to keep their job at that price.
And then that's their choice to make of, I'm going to increase my skills.
What happens to them?
They learn a lesson and they get another job and they do better. I think we have to be really careful putting worth on people in certain jobs, because look at what happened during the pandemic.
By the way,
those who are often paid minimum wage became our essential workers.
Price of the Dick's Deluxe now $5.30
for a deluxe. That's two patties, and
But the cheeseburger is still $3.05.
Look at that's for a good cheeseburger. Thank you. Bye,
G. Scott, 9 o'clock.
She's already
on KIRO
leaving.
Newsradio.
He's done with this conversation.